I had started taking community college courses online and partially in person while I was still in the service on active duty, taking a few night classes here and there whenever I could, in between deployments, sometimes when I was overseas. At that point, it was the big decision of, do I stay in the military for the next 11 plus years and hit retirement, or do I pivot completely? After a lot of reflection and discussion with family members, I made the decision to give my notice of separation and apply to universities.
The peer mentor program is it's more than, I think, a peer mentor program. It's really that supportive system that we created through Departments of Veterans Affairs work study. And what it does is we have 8 outreach peer counselors that are situated within undergraduate admissions. And what they do is they help student veteran applicants from the time that they apply all the way through to matriculation. They'll reach out to every single applicant, student veteran applicant, reservist, active duty service member who applies and say, hey, what questions do you have? Are you planning on using a GI Bill benefit? Do you know which benefits you're eligible for? What are your housing needs or concerns in coming to Cornell? They really provide that supportive net for our applicants to make sure that they are as competitive as possible and as prepared as possible.
One of the peer counselors reached out to me as well, informing me of, the community here and saying, hey, I know you've been admitted, congratulations. Here's the family that we have for you here. It felt similar to in the military when you move, which happens very often, and you have someone there to receive you and sort of introduce you to the community. So I think the transition for me was smooth, because it was facilitated very well by the university and by the staff and the students to ensure that I was welcomed and that I was able to stand on 2 feet upon arrival.
So we talk about the different transitions that student veterans will go through, not just coming from active duty to not being on active duty anymore, but maybe transferring from a community college to a large university, a large Ivy League university, not having interacted with a lot of 18 to 22-year-olds before to now interacting with them quite a bit with no military background. So it's important for them to be able to recognize, those might be stumbling blocks for them, those transitions, those multiple fluctuating identities.
I see my responsibility as, I think, a very big one as far as supporting the incoming students. There is a home for you at Cornell as long as you get through the process, and I think that's sort of the summary of what the role is just helping with that. We're sort of the one-stop shop for any questions they might have, and we're also the first link that they have as well with the veteran community at Cornell, and through us, we can introduce them to other people within the university, whether it be students or faculty or staff or graduate students, undergrad students, other veterans, just to let them know, there's a community here and make sure that they feel at home.
A lot of the student veterans that we have that decide to accept Cornell's offer, many of them have told us the reason I accepted my offer is because of the level of support I received in the application process. And then through talking to you, through talking to the students, I found all this other level of support that's available while I'm going through my studies. I would hope that in whatever definition they carry of success, that they find it here.